They feel abandoned, and they feel like there was no hope for them because they feel like they were like the last of the totem pole because in downtown got fixed. They took all the trash out of the area, but then they leave this here looking like a dump, like a war zone, third world country. Like this is unheard of in the United States. Like I've never in my life would have thought to see this in my home, in my backyard. So it's devastating. Anyway, I'm sorry. Ah.
That's a volunteer from Tennessee. She's up here in North Carolina. Her name's Merari. We were just driving around. We were talking to people. Came across a mobile home park. It was all but leveled in the storms that happened in September. Swannanoa was the second town we stopped in on our tour of the area. And man, is this place still in shambles. If you're from around here, you know that. If you're not, well, you might not be surprised to hear that things are far from being normal here again. Swannanoa might have been hit the hardest up here when that river came up and engulfed everything along its banks. Almost everything here is gone, or possibly beyond repair. People don't know what their future looks like. They can barely manage today. 900 families are now homeless up here. And this wasn't a wealthy area to begin with. 20% of the workforce in Buncombe County, it's gone. Either moved away or the place they worked at isn't there anymore. Lots of mom and pops washed down the river. It was tragic and it was fast. 40 people died out here out of 5,300. Almost 1% of the population died. Okay, so this is day 2 up here in the North Carolina mountains. We're here in Swannanoa. That's been hit hard. We just came to a community right now. It looks like pretty much everything is gone. And there's a lot of people rebuilding. There's a lot of people that are trying to figure out what's going on. And people are showing up right now and handing out things. So we're going to talk to some people here today for day 2 of the video. And this is not a happy place, but there's some happy things going on and there's some hope up here. So you're waiting to get like insurance, FEMA, like organizations, whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you feel it's gone really super slow?
Yeah, they're dragging it down on purpose because they want the land. I mean, unless you buy out or sell out to FEMA, then everything's slow. Like they won't even pick up the trash just to make it look like it's the apocalypse still. And we're all getting sick because of all the toxicity. There's radiation, E. coli, hepatitis, there's sewer, there's a lot of bodies that still haven't been found.
That's America for you, right in my home state of North Carolina. So if you drive around the North Carolina mountains right now, it'll make you sick. It's been more than 2 months since this part of the state got hit with those storms, and part of it doesn't really look like they've made a lot of improvement. People are still suffering all over the North Carolina mountains. Some people told me little Swannanoa was hit harder than anywhere else. I believe them. Swannanoa is this little community. It's about 5,300 people up here. It's along one of their main highways, about 20 minutes east of Asheville. Hard-working community, decent folks. It's not really known for anything. Until now. When those storms hit in September, 30 inches of rain filled up that river in town, and it spilled over and washed out just about everything along its banks. Businesses, roads, bunch of houses. This neighborhood right here was just one neighborhood we drove through. It's entire blocks that were ruined. Almost 3 months later, they're still gutting everything, trying to figure out what they can salvage. These people were lucky. For some parts of town that were completely wiped away. There's people living in tents in the snow up here, I was told. Well, I didn't see that. But we saw a lot of people living in donated trailers. 500 families qualified for temporary residences up here. By the time we got up here, only 20 families had been given some sort of shelter. 20. FEMA said, it takes time to get the trailers up here. Be patient, everybody. We need to make sure everything's safe. By the way, there's going to be a lot of complaining about FEMA in this video. So we were driving around and we came across a really hard-hit pocket. We pulled in and got out, and we met a couple up here from Tennessee. They were working hard. They were building shelters for these people. The type of stuff Biden and Kamala should be doing. But they've been MIA since the election. You know that.
So we insulating, and making this,
Yeah.
like give people a sense of home.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this until end of the winter. Shelters, those insulated areas, for them to stay warm. But in the spring, we wanna start rebuilding their homes.
Well, we're here just trying to make sure that the people come out of this cold. We're here doing shelters completely insulated, so that, as you can tell, the bitter cold, the tents are not holding up. There are some shelters being dropped off, but they're not insulated. You have trailers that are still up that we've had to rip out the inside because it had, mold and all that stuff. When we first got here, it was bad. Getting back and seeing that it was worse was heartbreaking for us. Mm-hmm. And you have so many people come through here. I mean, you couldn't turn into this driveway. With the amount of people that's come on here, and to still look like this is heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. So what were your intentions to come? To video, to get publicity, look where we're here in North Carolina, and then leave and not bring anything. We had a couple of people who came and asked, what do we need as volunteers? And he said, hey, we need stuff to warm up as we work at night. Oh, we'll be back tomorrow. Never came back. We have electric, we have temporary pole. Never came back. They don't have no electricity. We're running off of generators 24/7, waiting for hookup, and they don't come back and put electricity in here. So we need a cleaning crew. We need people to come. Like, that's fine. The city came and piled up all the junk, but it's horrible. These people probably didn't have a lot to begin with.
Why isn't the government or the county or the FEMA or whoever in here doing this?
That's why we are not government.
Yeah, that's why we're not part of the government, nor do we want to be. Okay, so
I'm gonna second that.
So here, if you want to look, that was a rolling creek. Okay, 75 feet of the land was washed out. Along with that was not a river.
No.
So just so people can have an understanding, like, you can cut through there if you want.
Okay. So all these people they're all at work, and they're all like...
Some people are at work, like Joe. And but most of them are either out trying to get survival stuff. God. I know, he's very emotional. But so is there any other questions you wanted to ask? But
okay, well, how can people... Okay, tell me about what happened here.
Okay, so here we had, as you can look at the drain, okay?
Yeah.
Gives you an idea how high the ground was. That's one. Joel's house was back there, I think, where we are pretty much, has the aluminum.
Yeah.
From that was Joel's house, washed out. This was only a creek, a rolling creek, and that they could cross with 2 feet. And the floods have absolutely just completely changed the entire
land. It's never going to be the same.
Never. And it washed out her home here, and there was a home up here, and it took 75 feet of their land away. And it's just unheard of. I mean, we never expected anything like this. And like I said, they were very, they didn't have much, but they had their little home.
Yeah.
And it was their home. So we want to do survival, just to be warm in there. And then they have the porta potties and all that stuff. So it's just not to get them out of these campers. Listen, campers are great, but they need fuel. They need propane. and they're not insulated. So when it's 20, 15 at night here, it's freezing in those campers. It's like an ice box. Shelters that are being dropped off. Listen, if there's anything I can tell people, if you're dropping off shelters, please make sure they're insulated, because that's putting them in a freezer box.
Yeah.
That's like locking them in a freezer.
Yeah.
They're not going to survive through the winter with that. So we're coming in and insulating even shelters. Now I have video on my Facebook that shows that we'll build them from the ground up, and we do them from the floor to the roof, completely insulated. It takes $4,000 for each shelter. That's from top to bottom, beginning to end. But if people need it and they have a shelter placed in their land and they're not insulated, we can insulate them for them. That's what we're doing. So we just insulated the whole thing because they just dropped them here. So we're just trying the best that we can to help so that they can survive. That's all.
All right, I'm going to take a picture of that so I can... Rad for Christ.
Yes.
PayPal, Rad for Christ. That's you guys.
PayPal.me.
And you're based in Tennessee.
Yes.
And you came over here because there was a need.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Across the street, there's a FEMA camp, and they're all sitting in... I'm not trying to make this political.
That's okay.
But they're all sitting in their tents with their warm showers.
Absolutely.
And they're not coming over here.
They're not
and,
here at
I'm
all.
sure they've been over here plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
They're not over here today.
No, and they've been here and they go and they do nothing. And they don't approve them for any finances. They should be there putting electric for free. Like, how dare they? We need $900 for an electric. Are you kidding me? They can't even eat, barely. So it's like, it's sad what our country has done. Like this administration is pretty sad. It's devastating. It really is. And that's just the truth.
This is your country, folks. Hi. Oh. Most of the people that lived here are out working or getting supplies or dealing with government stuff or whatever they're doing. Some of them are here, but apparently they don't really want to talk because they've been through a lot. That's fine. I understand. But there were about, 20 houses back here, trailers. There's really nothing really left back here. You got volunteers, building. What's your name?
I'm James.
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 How do you feel about the way things have been progressing here with the lack of improvements and all?
I've been doing it all myself. I borrowed some money from a buddy of mine, and I've had some people come out from like Texas and Florida, and they donated their time and they helped me build a handicap ramp for my son. He's handicapped. But before that, I borrowed the money to get all my insulation and stuff and get it all underpinning and all that done before it got real cold. I still got to do a lot more work inside where it done tore up a lot on the inside. And on top of all that, my girlfriend's going through cancer. She just started her chemo yesterday, and she's got to go like 33 times in a row. And it's been rough. And our heat went out at her place, and it's been hard.
And you're living in a camper,
Yeah,
temporary?
I've got a trailer up here. I actually remodeled it about 2 or 3 times now. It's just...
Sorry that you're going through all that.
Yeah,
Do you have a Venmo or a GoFundMe or any way people can donate to help you?
I've never done that, and I've just
Okay.
There has been people come by and handed me some cash and stuff, and it's just like, I just give it to whoever else might need it more than me. I mean, it's just been hard. I lost my dad the week before the storm, and we had to hold his funeral off for almost 2 months before we could have his funeral. He was cremated, but he had family, sisters, and cousins and everything. Finally come down. We had the funeral just a couple weeks ago. But it's just been tough. And I just lost my job on top of all this. I've been working at Ingles Warehouse for 15 years, and they threatened me on my points and stuff, and I just got tired of being threatened because I knew I had a lot more time I was going to have to take off on finishing my place and doing for my girlfriend and my son and everything else that's been going on. It's just been, it's been tough, but we've been doing it, and thank you for everybody. Everybody stepped up. All of the United States has stepped up and helped us out. The Lord has helped us.
Has the government helped you at all?
No, I've dealt with FEMA and all this, and they said they come in, check my place, and told me I was going to get all this money, so I borrowed quite a bit of money from a buddy of mine, and nothing. Oh, it'll be 5 days. I waited like 3 weeks, went back. It'll be 5 days. You'll see something. Waited about 3 more weeks, went back. It's happened like 3 or 4 times now. I called back last Thursday. I was on the phone with them because you got to wait on the phone forever. And it's just so much time. I got tired of it, and it's just, and the woman's like, yeah, it'll be there in 5 days. And it's just every day I check my bank, and hopefully the money would be in my bank, but nothing. And
It's been 74 days.
It's been, actually the day of the hurricane was the first surgery my girlfriend had to go to, and they said it was still on. We got up like at 4 o'clock that morning, and we drove through it, and it was terrifying. We was both in tears. They said, yeah, it's still on. So I only got to the hospital, and there was trees falling and power lines falling and everything. But we got to the hospital and everything, and they checked her and everything, said they were still going to do it. And then by that time, they lost power, so they had to cancel it. So we went to leave, and we got stuck there for another 3 hours because we couldn't get out because there was power lines, the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
And, it was terrible. And then it took us, by the time we got back over here, we both live on this side of the river. It took us 2 days to get back to the animals, to the house and stuff, because the bridges was out and all this stuff.
And your house was leveled, was partially ruined.
It was off the foundation,
Yeah.
but we went back and we put it all up on foundation. I finally fixed the pipes, fixed everything, my money and everything, fixed all that it tore up underneath it. I got everything out underneath it. Samaritan Purse did come and help me tear down the insulation, but I went with the money I borrowed and got new insulation, and then the people see me working from Texas and Florida, and they ended up helping me finish putting the plastic up under there, and they ended up helping me put all the underpinning. I went and got underpinning and stuff, and then somebody donated a ramp, and me and my buddy and the guy that donated it, I'm not sure exactly who it was, but they helped me a day and a half put a handicap ramp back up on my place for my son.
You don't see the government. The FEMA was over there warming their campers.
I know, we saw
They
them
got
over there.
showers. They got their satellite. They're good. They got name tag, but they do nothing. They do nothing.
And they closed. I went to the mall yesterday. Went to the FEMA office they have set up at the Asheville Mall. Closed at 5:59.
Yeah.
And I said, what about the people who have to work? They have to come after work. And the guy was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, we go on and on about
the
all that.
government right now is I don't curse, but I'll say it is absolute shit. It is gone, and this right here is what they think of us. Trash.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That it's not just words. You know how back a few weeks ago they were making this big old thing. Honey, I'm Puerto Rican, so I didn't take that offensive. When they talk about the trash, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's words, but this is your actions. You're showing us who you really think trash is. Your own country, your own people. You take care of other countries better than you do your own people.
And meanwhile, we've got immigrants that just came in the country that are in $200 a night hotel rooms. And our own people are living in campers. It's all over the place up and down this river up here. Just down the road, all of this was a simple little neighborhood along the river. It's all messed up. It's just about abandoned now. The river rose up, washed just about everything away. And these people didn't have a lot. This is Steve. This is his neighborhood. He's been living in a trailer for about 2 months now, until he can get the funds to rebuild and get his life back in order.
Really, we're like the last ones alive right here. Or maybe there's a few others that survived, but they're in probably like a hotel somewhere or just not want to be in this situation. But we kind of have to stay here because of the looters. They just steal everything. And it's like the purge. I'm not lying. Like, people were shooting each other over, just trying to siphon fuel at Ingalls, when it flooded. They were looting everything, houses. They just didn't care. And there was a lot of outside people coming in from other states that just do it for a living. But then you also got the methamphetamine people who do it just to
Support their habit.
Right. It's like their Super Bowl right now. And then you pile all this, it's not trash, but when they clear the houses out, they're supposed to put dry pile and then wet pile, you know what I mean? But they were throwing everything in the same piles. And then the tweakers would come around and start going through all their crap, and I'd have to run them off, We were having to fire shots off just to get them out of here because they just didn't care. So it's really stressful because you don't have anything left, and what little you do, and then people are trying to steal it. Yeah.
And your kids can't be with you because of...
Oh, yeah, social services will take them, even in a camper, just because they'll know they'll get sick, basically.
So where are your kids living?
They're staying at their mother-in-law.
Okay.
Or, yeah, my mother-in-law's, and the kids are there, too.
So right now you're out here, you're waiting for your house to be
torn down
and then rebuilt, hopefully, same spot. You're not moving?
No, I'm not selling out or nothing, no. Yeah, there's a lot of people, man. They were pulling bodies out every day, all day. We were washing our feet over there, and there was bodies we didn't know about. They pulled them out. It was just all day for probably a month and a half. They were just flying helicopters just on the, ocean, or not the ocean, the river, just marking and pulling them out. And then the cadaver dogs finally came out, like, I don't know, a week after that. And they were just walking the riverbanks, finding more. They never walked around our properties, and then they ended up dying because of the toxicity.
It kind of puts into perspective your life, right? You have a convenient and inconvenience today. Maybe you were late to work because you couldn't find your laptop cord, or you're pissed off because the lady at the bank didn't have your paperwork, or whatever setback you had. And it's nothing compared to what 100,000 people are going through in North Carolina here. And this is just one small little, really not even neighborhood, just one small driveway. And they're not getting a lot of help. One of the ladies that just showed up to hand out some stuff, we met her. She said, "Did you see the FEMA camp down the street?" And I said, "Oh, were there housing people?" And she's like, "No, the FEMA camp where the FEMA workers live. They've got showers and hot meals, and it's all gated and very nice. It's down the street." And yep, they were right. I went up to see that FEMA camp. Those houses right next door, those are in pretty bad shape. But not the FEMA HQ. It's nice. Look at that. So if FEMA can build themselves a mini temporary fortress, why can't they build that for the people who live here that need it? Nope. People up here live in the mud, or in their cars, or in some sort of donated trailer from a nonprofit. There's people up here that are living in hotels, some of them for free for now, or at a discounted rate. Other people were told they have to pay back some of their hotel dues at some point. Or some of them were just being thrown out of the hotels. 60 days is up. Gotta move on. Find somewhere else to go. But look at how much money we give other countries. And we can't even take care of our own. It's sick. We give the illegals wonderful fancy hotel rooms. They can stay as long as they want. They get money, ATM cards. But our own damn people out here in the cold and the mud and the muck, some are getting sick, and it's Christmas time. So many houses here were underwater and had to be gutted. And nobody knows if or when any of this is going to be rebuilt one day. But you try and ask FEMA, and, well, you know how that goes. We don't have the money. Fill out some paperwork. Get in line. We'll help you when we can. They never do. These people are supposed to be getting tens of thousands of dollars minimum. But at this point, people are relieved to get anything. I heard about FEMA reps lying to them or misleading them or quitting or being fired. And people were afraid to tell me that on camera, by the way. They didn't want to piss off their FEMA rep. What country are we in? It's not just FEMA. It's Duke Energy, the Small Business Administration, the insurance companies. They're all crooked and bad at their jobs. The system is screwed. It's way too hard to get anything done or for these people to understand how to navigate everything. It's complicated, probably on purpose. But what good does it do to complain? No one's going to change anything anyway. I met one guy who told me he was able to get some help, but it wasn't easy. Well, water started coming up. Did it came inside your house and you ended up running? What happened that day?
Well, it was about up to here, and I just put the dogs in that little trailer I got beside that one, and I got Dad. My sister lived over there, long ways across where the trees are over there, and I told her it's time for us to go, so we went over here to Ingles, and they didn't have enough awning to keep the dogs from getting wet, so I went over here to BP over there where that BP is. And I sat there, I figured in the morning we'd come back. They might be a little water in the house, but not much. But it was all gone.
The house was gone?
Yeah, well, part of it sat in the middle of the road long ways there. And I had a Corvette. If you can go on YouTube, you can see it, or you watch Chuck Edwards' campaign commercial. It's on there, but it's sitting on top of my vet.
Yeah. And they came and tore the rest down for you?
Yeah, they pushed the rest out of the highway. They said that they was told they had to open it up.
So where are you at right now with your recovery process? Are you waiting for insurance, FEMA?
Well, FEMA's done paid me all they're going to pay me. And I had to get Mr. Edwards to help me on that. But anyway.
That's a local politician.
Yeah.
He had to help you navigate, or had to strong arm FEMA into giving
Strong arm them because they was giving me the runaround.
They've been giving everybody the runaround.
Yeah.
What did they end up giving you? Money to help rebuild your home?
Well, they give me, have you priced any single wide mobile homes? They like setting up and everything in like $110,000. They give me less than half.
So is that what you're going to do? Is put a mobile home here?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. Oh, they gave you basically very little for what it's going to cost you. $42,500. That was what I was told was the amount that people were. But you're lucky, to be honest. I know it doesn't seem like a lot. We talk to people that haven't got shit.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, I can't even get my $42,500. I got $750.
Yeah. And I didn't even put in for that, and it wasn't in my account. But all I can tell them is, if they watch this, is call your congressman. He'll help you.
if you're getting the runaround from the government, from the disaster relief agencies like FEMA, call your congressman, and they'll strong arm. Okay, good.
Yeah, they'll help you.
And your congressman is
Chuck Edwards.
Chuck Edwards, and he's the one that helped. What did he do? Write a letter?
Well, I don't know what he done, but
you
4
got a
days
check.
after I talked to him, my money was in the bank.
Good. So the rest of the money...
And I went to these little old stations they had set up. They said nothing they can do. I finally got a hold of the inspector that was going to come out here and look. Oh, they told us we couldn't go to North Carolina because somebody threatened them over there, Rutherford County, and I told him, I said, man, I got to have somewhere to live, you know. Then I was living in my car, you know.
Yeah.
And then the church from Virginia up near Shenandoah brought me that trailer, and then a church in South Carolina brought me this trailer.
Okay.
And
So
the guy that goes to that church donated me that green truck out there.
So private citizens, organizations have stepped up and helped.
Yeah.
The government, finally, at least you got your part of your FEMA money.
If it wasn't for them, people coming from out of state and helping for free, it wouldn't have never got done.
I know. We got to look out for ourselves because the government...
But like I told News 13, which they didn't put on the news, you know, I mean, I lost everything. But other people lost more than I did.
Yeah.
They lost loved ones and stuff like that. And that's the tragic thing. And I hope they ain't going through what I'm going through on top of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I mean, we have suffering, and suffering will come, you know, at night. But, you know, there's joy in the morning. So some reason this happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, or I don't know how come, but, you know, I'm just waiting on the Lord to show me what he wants me to do. You know what I'm saying?
This is just super sad. People living in campers, at least they have shelter. 4 dogs out in the mud. A lot of people told me the only people up here every day that are rolling up their sleeves and driving around and checking on folks and helping are the nonprofits and just regular citizens. They drop by food and clothes, heaters, toys for the kids, firewood, generators. We were talking to Sean, and some people pulled up, just regular people who wanted to help.
And then, like I said, we got my mom car, my dad car. Well, I can't move the other car, it's gone already. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Who are these people?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
All right.
But
we have come up from the East Coast, and you know, y'all have Silverados and all these places you can get your food and necessary supplies.
yes, ma'am.
We have a car full of wrapping paper, gifts for adults, toys that we want to give to people.
That's fine. Yeah.
Are there people in this community right here that would appreciate that?
Oh, yes,
Can you
please,
get them together for us, and we'll let them go through what we have? And
Take the microphone. Tell me why you did this, ma'am.
we did this. We did this because this has broken our hearts to see this. I've never seen anything like this in my life, and neither is anybody else that I'm with or from where I'm at. And it just seems that they're overlooked, that there's no help coming other than we the people. We're the ones that are doing it. And I know that there are plenty of distribution centers with food, clothes, things like that. We just wanted to spread some cheer, put some smiles on some people's faces.
Where are you from?
Kinston, North Carolina.
Okay. So you drove up here to just
to
help.
Just to love on people. And we volunteered at Silverados yesterday. We did that, but we wanted to get out in the community and actually talk to people and love on them and just give them something that's going to make them happy. Not something they necessarily need, just something they might want, just to bring some cheer.
Is this your first day doing this?
I came up in October and did distribution. This is, well, actually on the way up Tuesday, we stopped in Old Fort and had a great turnout at their hub, giving out stuff. And we've got what we got left, and we're trying to just share.
What's the response been like?
Wonderful. They are so happy and so appreciative. And, I mean, we've seen tears, we've seen smiles. You know, it's just been great.
I've talked to a lot of people. I have a YouTube channel, and we're interviewing people, and we've talked to a lot of people who have said the only help has been from each other.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly. The only people you can rely on, the government, the insurance, all the agencies, all the letter alphabet
Exactly.
things. Can't rely on them. It's us.
Yeah, and I mean, yesterday at Silverado's, we didn't get to talk to a lot of people, but the ones that we did, I mean, they're still living in tents and
I know.
campers and no electricity, and it's just unreal. And we're sending, don't mean to get political, but we are sending billions of dollars to other countries, and our citizens are living like this. That's not right. It's unacceptable. So we're just here to do what little bit we can do. I can't bring you a generator or a truckload of building supplies, but I can bring you some love and some joy. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank
What's
you.
your name?
Pam.
Pam. This is Sean. He's also living in a donated trailer right there on the property. His house used to be right there. He told me FEMA helped him a little bit. I was like, okay, well, there's a little bit of help. But he said, we're not anywhere near where we should be. Where
Everything
were
just
you
gone.
when the...
I was sleeping at that morning, and I didn't think it's gonna be, the water come up over your knee, whatever. But I went back to sleep, and then next thing you know, is the tree falling on top of the roof. That's what woke me up, and I look outside. I'm like, uh-oh, we gotta leave. And so me and my family and my girlfriend, we left the house. We went to park at the school up there, and we stayed out there about a week, sleeping there, and I mean, everything just blocked out, you know what I'm saying? We can't leave, until we got help,
What is this blue...
That's my parent, my mom and dad kitchen.
Your mom and dad's kitchen, and they got
Yeah.
all their food out here?
Yeah, they put the tent, the popped up tent, but the wind blows away, so I had to rebuild it. Me and my dad had to rebuild the one for them. So
Yeah. And your parents are in the camper too?
No, they're at work right now.
Okay. But I mean, they live in that camper?
Yeah, they live in that camper. Yeah.
Are you happy with the response and the help, or no?
It don't bother me, you know what I'm saying? If I can get help, that be perfect. But if it don't, it's fine, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm not gonna go out there, please help me, But it is what it is, So.
How long until they're gonna build your house?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. So, like I said, I just wait and see. So, see what happens,
And the camper came from who donated that?
The truck? Oh, this is my truck.
No, the camp, like
the campers. Julie's. I forgot her last name, and it's hard to remember. People come in and out, and I can't.
Like a private person donated that to you?
Yeah, they live like 2 hours away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, someone came from that far away and
Yeah.
said you could have my camper.
Yeah, and they donated. You know what I'm saying? They help my family. They help their family out there, and they help the family.
That's awesome.
Thank you for everything. You know what I'm saying?
All this stuff was just washed away. I mean, the river came up where that excavator is. That's the bridge. So the Swannanoa River is underneath that excavator, and it rose up. So where I'm standing was clearly underwater right now, or back then. And I mean, everything is just gone. And it's so cold right now, that's frozen. And these poor people that we were at earlier, I mean, it's 37 degrees right now. And these people are up here, and it's just starting. Winter's not even here yet. It's still technically fall. And that was a carpet store. It's not ever, well, maybe one day it's coming back. And across the street, that was a mini mart. It's gone. This is kind of the worst of it. It kind of looks like a tornado came through, or a hurricane. This is some of the worst I've seen. We're probably 20, 30 minutes east of Asheville. So this place didn't really get as much attention as Asheville did. But it's way worse here than it was in Asheville. That was a carpet store. Completely devastated. And everything around here is gone. I mean, oh my God. All these houses. Everything down there is gone. The camera does not do it justice on just how bad it is. You can't really even tell on the camera, but all that stuff is gone. Devastation. Oh my God. That's all gone. There's still standing water. It's been, look, there's a tree stuck into the side of this building. It's been 74 days at this point. I mean, it's not like it just happened last week. It's been more than 2 months. And it's still, there's still cars. Holy crap, there's still cars upside down. Down the road, I met another wonderful woman. Her name's Samantha. She came all the way from New York to cook a hot meal for folks in town. And what did you do today, alert viewer?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a mix of things going on. I mean, there's definitely a response that's happening, support that's coming in, but I also know several small business owner friends of mine that are spread out between Swannanoa and Marshall and Asheville, and I think they kind of feel like they're at this crossroads right now where they've done as much as they can do, but the resources financially are very difficult for them. They're looking at either very small grants or low interest loans, and that just means putting a small business back in debt, and they're looking at having to rebuild their businesses from the ground up. So it's pretty tough for a lot of people here. I know that everybody's sort of focusing on December and Christmas and being grateful that there's business rolling in, but they're really worried about what's going to happen in January, February, and March.
I hear over and over from people. We've been here for 3 days. Mm-hmm. The government, insurance, all the agencies, all the alphabet agencies have let me down. The community and each other is really what has got me through the hardship. It's us, it's people. It's not the people that we're supposed to rely on.
100%. So I mean, that's exactly when I was in Marshall last weekend. They lost their entire downtown. There isn't one community indoor space for them to gather, and they're like, you know what, we're going to be fine. We're taking care of each other. We're supporting each other. We're going to help each other. We're going to make this happen. But it's not the government. It's not who we thought was going to be supporting us and helping us through all of this.
You're probably a humble person, and for someone to say like, oh, what you're doing is wonderful, mm-hmm. which is. So many people they don't help, right? Like they, oh, that's sad. I wish there was something I could do. I should do something. You came all the way across down the East Coast, 500 miles. I don't know how far it is in New York.
12 hours of driving.
12 hours of driving down here.
Yep, with my fire table and a car full of donated product.
So maybe somebody will watch this and be like, you know what, that's inspiring. I'm going to go do something too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing is to reach out to the communities and find out what they need. I mean, I always wait when there's a disaster to kind of see, where things pop up, and it starts to be that point where people are feel like they're forgotten about. And so when you reach out and ask, like, is there something I can do? And it's something as simple as vegetables, I get super excited. So
there's a fear people are going to leave and never come back. There's a fear that tourists will never come back. Well, that's not going to happen. Everybody's going to be okay one day. It's just terrible that people have to worry and stress and go broke until their lives are back to normal again. You're taking it the best you can.
Yeah, well, I mean, ain't no sense in, you can't change what happened, and you might as well just try to look on the bright side and try to come out ahead, I mean, if you lay down, you're going to not accomplish nothing, so mm-hmm. I can't explain everything, and I don't try to. I just go each day, day by day.